All right, so it was only one game, but there's already there's already a sense of optimism when it comes to the direction of the New Orleans Saints going forward. You know, a lot, has transpired since. They're still not to me, they're still not going to the playoffs. But the 17-7 win over the Carolina Panthers provided to me a sample size, a small, a sample size of where the team could be headed as they go into the second half of their season. So while postseason aspirations are out of the cards, there's still a lot to look forward to as the team returns to action after the bye week to take on the Atlanta Falcons. A team that is currently going through a slide right now. Especially now that they have injuries to key personnel. So what we're going to talk about today is five things to watch for, five storylines to watch as the Saints head into the second half of that 2025 regular season. So number one on this list, we're going to start with Tyler Shough's development, his continued development as a starting NFL quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. People are still talking about that performance. People around the league caught wind of Tyler Shough's performance against the Carolina Panthers. He had a team record in passing yards as a rookie for the Saints with 282 yards, and he threw two touchdown passes. Now, can he replicate that same performance in the coming weeks? Because if so, the Saints will not use. I'm pretty sure this is a guarantee right here, though. The Saints will not use their first round pick on the quarterback. If Shough looks like that for the remainder of the season, they will not use their pick on a quarterback. They might not even be in the range to get a quarterback. That's if the quarterbacks are even coming out, you know. So we'll see. So because right now, I think according to Tanker Time, Saints currently have the Saints currently sit at number two in the current NFL draft order. All right. Number two on the list, right? I got Devon Vallet's usage. So after trading Rashid Shaheed to the Seattle Seahawks, the Saints got their first round pick back that they shipped off to the Denver Broncos to acquire Devon Vallet back in, I believe, August, if I'm not mistaken. So when that move was made, a lot of people in the fan base disagreed with that transaction because they felt as though the Saints needed a full arsenal of draft picks to rebuild the team, and that was a high fourth round pick that the Saints sent to the Denver Broncos. But now that you've traded Shaheed to Seattle, you got your fourth round pick back and an extra pick. So, but in regards to Valet, he's only showed a tiny sample size of his upside as a pass catcher. So now that Shaheed is gone off to Seattle, Chris Olave role as a top wide receiver in the offense has been elevated. Maybe we'll finally see more of Valet's skill set as a big physical target in the Saints offense. Okay. Number three on the list, right? At number three, I got the improvement of Brandon Staley's defense. So outside of the performance against the LA Rams, the Seattle Seahawks, Saints defense to me has, fought to keep the team in most of the games this season. However, their best performance so far came against the Carolina Panthers before the bye week. The group they took away the Panthers' top weapon on offense, Rico Dordell, who is a top rusher this year, only allowed him to rush for 53 yards on 18 carries. I think he had like one touchdown. I'm not sure. And Bryce Young threw for 124 yards and one pick. Now, this past week against the Falcons, Bryce Young threw for 450 yards in overtime and won the game. That just shows you how crazy NFL can be. So they won't face the Saints that will not face offenses like Carolina every week. But with the next few games, there will be opportunities to build on that performance that occurred in week 10. So number 3 on the list, the improvement of Brandon Staley's defense. Number 4, I got Chris Olave's ascension as a true WR1. So since the season started, right, I've heard from countless Saints content creators and even local media members state that they don't believe that Chris Olave is a true number one option for this offense. I mean, well, for a team that has struggled with, they may be right, who knows? But for a team that has struggled with inept quarterback play since the season started, Olave has produced. If you look at his numbers, because right now he's the last time I checked, he was 7 in receptions with 60 and 11 in receiving yards with 664. So if he stays on that current trajectory, that current pad, he's gonna get a contract extension with this team. That's how I see it. So Chris Olave ascension as a true WR1 is number 4 on my list. And finally, number 5, a return to seeing vintage Alvin Kamara. So I'm not trying to, sound superstitious or anything like that, but it seems like when the Saints quarterback play is improved, looks good, everything around it becomes enhanced. Because in last Sunday's game against Carolina Panthers, well, not last, well, Week 10's game against Carolina Panthers, AK accounted for 115 all-purpose yards. And that screen pass from Shough that picked up 26 yards, that like turned back the clock for a lot of Saints fans. That play right there. So if he can get that, they could get that going, man. They could if he could do that on a more consistent basis to close out the season. If Kellen Moore utilize him like that more often in these games, closes out the season, that would be huge. That would be huge. I think the team, if you do that, I think this team will score more touchdowns, get more points, and may even win them a few more games. You know, I just got a feeling the Saints are going to go on a run. I don't think they're going. I won't put it past them to get back into the NFC South conversation because that's how bad the division is. But you never know. I don't think they're gonna make the playoffs, but I don't think they're gonna close out the year still in that range, that high, that top 5 draft pick range. I don't. I think the Saints are gonna win a lot of games to put themselves out of the top 5 range in the NFL draft. And that might tick a lot of people off, tick off a few people, but Tyler Shough is still being evaluated, man. And winning games, I think winning games is going to be a part of that. Can you win? Can this team win games because of you? That's something that Spencer Rattler couldn't do, given the circumstances. I thought Spencer Rattler did a really good job, but we'll see. So, these are my top storylines to watch for. As the Saints come out of their bye week and go into Falcons hit week again. Got a big matchup in the Dome. A lot of storylines in that matchup. I think Michael Penix is out for the year. Drake London is they going to IR as well. So the Saints will be facing Kirk Cousins. So in this matchup. So there's that. But my top 5 storylines are Tyler Shough's continued development, Devon Vallee's usage, the improvement of Brandon Staley's defense, Chris Olave's ascension as a true WR1, and a return of seeing vintage Al Kamara in the offense. So there's that. But that's all I have for y'all for right now. Listen to this video through YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. What are your 5 storylines to watch for as the Saints come out and bye week? Do the same as well on Spotify, Apple, Amazon. Leave a 5-star rating, leave a review, leave remarks on what I just discussed tonight. And I'm out. Peace.